Good morning, friends. Here we are discussing about the electronic circuits from myself, D. Lingeshwar, Contra lecturer in Triple E Department, GMR Polytechnic, Utnur. Transistor bias circuits. Here we are discussing mainly about the biasing of the circuits. Objectives: discuss the concept of DC biasing of a transistor for linear operation. For linear operation. Second objective: analyze voltage divider bias, base bias, and collector feedback bias circuits. Basic troubleshooting for transistor biasing circuits. Introduction for the transistor biasing circuits. For the transistor to properly operate, it must be biased. Compulsory, we need a biasing. It will operate properly. The transistor should operate properly means it will be it must be biased already. There are several methods to establish the DC operating point. So many methods are there for DC operating point. How we can find out the DC operating point? Several methods are there. But we will discuss some of the methods used for biasing transistors as well as the troubleshooting methods used for the transistor bias circuits. Here we are discussing some methods. Several methods are there, but here we are discussing some methods. The DC operating point. The goal of amplification in most cases is to increase the amplitude of an AC signal without altering it. Why means we have to strengthen the signal or weaken the signal, but most probably in DC operating point our goal is to amplify most cases to increase the amplitude. Amplitude means the size of the signal will be increased without altering it. That is nothing but it will not shape out. Why? Because suppose the signal will be AC, you will get output also AC, not a triangular. Why? That is nothing but without altering it. Means without disturbing the signal, we have to improve the amplitude. The lower amplitude value will be bigger value. That is only the one. Not to change the any shape of the signal. Amplification symbol here we are seen in the diagram. Here is the linear operation. Larger output has same shape as the input except that it is inverted. Here we are observing in the first diagram A, there is no shape out, but the input and outputs are phase difference. 180 degrees phase difference occurring, but the amplitude value not changing. Sorry, increase the amplitude but not changing shape. Same shape. In the second diagram, here we are observing non-linear operation. Output voltage limited clipped or by cutoff. Here there is no. Here also there is a difference is there, but the positive off cycle will be clipped off in the output value in the observing of second diagram or B. In third diagram also here we are observing the negative off cycle value will be clipped off because the operating point is not correctly settled in these two cases B and C. We are not getting Q operating point is not correctly placed. That's why the input value will be clipped off in the output that we have observed in B and C diagrams. But in first diagram, there is no clipped off. Whatever the input is there, the output will be occur in the output also. The same waveform will be shown. Why? Because it is a perfect value. Perfect amplification will be done. Why? Because there is no altering the waveform. There is no altering the waveform. Okay. The DC operating point for a transistor circuit to amplify it must be properly biased with DC voltages. The DC operating point between saturation and cutoff is called the Q point. The DC operating point between saturation and cutoff. Saturation in between saturation and cutoff is called the Q point. The goal is to set the Q point such that it does not go into saturation or cutoff when an AC signal is applied. You are applying an AC signal, not go to the saturation, not go to the cutoff region. Its exact value, whatever the applied voltage is there, it will be shown in the output. Here some example diagram is taken. VBB is the input voltage, IB is the input current, RC is the output resistance value, IC is the output current value, VC is the output voltage. Here we are applying the voltage VCC is applied to run the current into the circuit IC. Here we are observing the values. We can draw the graph in between the output characteristics. Here we are seeing in between VCE and IC, output voltage and output current. Here we are draw the characteristics in between output voltage and output current. The variable value is here is IB. IB current is changing. IB value is 200 microamperes. The lower characteristics will be drawn at 300 in the middle of the one and 400 microamperes the last one. Here we are getting three operating points Q1, Q2, Q3. At the time of IB current is 200 microamperes, we will get Q point 1, Q operating point Q1, operating point Q2, operating point Q3. In between only the exact operating point is only one. That what is the operating point? Here we are finding out. Okay. Recall that the collector characteristics curve graphically shows the relationship of collector current and VCE for different base currents. For different base currents already discussed. Okay, for different base currents we can draw in between the output current and output voltage. With the DC load line superimposed across the collector curves for this particular transistor, we see that 30 milliamperes of collector current is best for maximum amplification. For maximum amplification, 30 milliampere current is best suitable. Why? Because here we are seeing in bit here 3 points Q1, Q2, Q3 are the different points here we are indicating. For DC load line we have to draw cut the characteristics of the IB points. Here we have 3 points located. At that 30 milliamperes is suitable for our amplification. Why? Because here are discussing for giving equal amount of above and below the Q point. Equal amount of above and below the Q point. Note that this is the 3 different scenarios of collector current being viewed simultaneously. Here we are observing the characteristics minus 1 by RC into VC plus VCC by RC. Okay, we can identify that Q point is why it is suitable Q2 point at 30 milliamperes only. The next topic, the next time we are discussing. Here, with a good Q point established, in between means 30 milliamperes, we are identifying the Q point is there. Let's look at the effect a superimposed AC voltage has on the circuit. Note the collector current swings do not exceed the limits of operation, saturation and cutoff. Do not exceed the limits of the operation. However, as you might already know, applying too much AC voltage to the base would result the driving in a collector current into saturation or cutoff, resulting in a distorted or clipped waveform. Distorted or clipped waveform. But in this diagram, we are observing exact value. Whatever the current value we have to apply, there is no effect on the output current and output voltage. Here we are observing the IB current. IB current here we are applying at 30 milliamperes. Okay. At that time, IC current value also not clipped off. VC value also not clipped off. Sorry, VC voltage also not clipped off. From uh, here, the next topic is voltage divider bias. Voltage divider bias is the most widely used type of bias circuit. Most commonly used circuit, voltage divider bias circuit, are most commonly used for biasing purpose. Only one power supply is needed here, and the voltage bias is more stable than other bias types. More stable, that's why it is more commonly used. For this reason, it will be the primary focus for study. Here we are observing the voltage divider bias circuit. Primary side two base circuits are there, R1 and R2. In output, RC resistor and RC resistor will be there. VCC is the applied across the for pumping the IB current, base current values and IC current values. The function of operation should be done because of that VCC only. RE is the emitter resistor. The current flowing in that circuit is IE. That is the basic diagram of voltage divider bias circuit. Apply your knowledge of voltage dividers to understand how R1 and R2 are used to provide the needed voltage to point A or base. The resistance to ground from the base is not significant enough to consider in most cases. The resistance to ground from the base is not significant enough to consider in most cases. Remember, the basic operation of the transistor has not changed. We are grounded here. There is no change in the operation of the circuit. Voltage divider bias. In this case, where base to ground resistance is low enough to consider, we can determine it by simplified equation. R in is equal to beta of DC into RE. We can view the voltage sorry we can view the voltage at point A of the circuit in two ways, with or without the input resistance points to point A to ground. With or without input resistance, here we are observing two cases, unloaded condition and loaded condition. R1 and R2 VCC, next R1 and R2 R in, loading in at base of transistor. For this circuit, we will not take the input resistance into consideration. Essentially, we are determining the voltage across R2 VB by the proportional method. VB is equals to R2 is in parallel with the beta DC into RE by R1 plus R2 in parallel with the beta into DC into RE. Why? Because in the last slide we are observing the load is in parallel with the R2. That's why the parallel operation will be done. Then after we will add to the R1. Voltage dividing will be takes place. Voltage across the resistor R2 we are finding. That's why the resistor R2 and beta DC into R are parallel operation. Then it will apply the voltage divider rule. Voltage divider rule, we will get this one into VCC, the applied voltage. Here we are getting the base voltage VB is equal to R2 by R1, R2 by R1 plus R2 into VCC. We know, take the known base voltage and subtract VB to find out what is dropped across RE. Knowing the voltage across RE, we can apply Ohm's law to determine the current in the collector emitter side of the circuit. Remember, the current in the base emitter circuit is much smaller, so much in fact we can, for all the practical purposes, we say that IE is approximately equal to IC. In most of the cases, the output current IC will be equal to IE. Why? Because the IB value is very small, that's why you can call it as IC value nearly equals to IE value. Although we have used NPN transistor for most of this discussion. Here two transistors are there. Actually we have to know PNP transistor and NPN transistor, but in for voltage divider circuits or many of the applications we have to use only NPN transistors only. There is basically no difference in its operation with exemption to biasing polarities. Analysis of each part of the circuit is no different than NPN transistors. Next topic is base bias. Base bias means the input value should be connected to the output value. The input resistor RB is connected to the output resistance RC. It is nothing but the base will be biased. That's why it is called basis biasing. This type of circuit is very unstable since its beta changes with temperature and collector current. In base bias is most very unstable circuit. This is a base circuit is unstable circuit. Why? Because the beta value changes and the temperature and collector current also changes. Beta value changes due to temperature and collector current. Base biasing circuits are mainly limited to switching applications. Here we are using the circuit, base bias circuit. Here we are finding out the collector current value by applying according to KVL. IC is equal to VCC minus VB divided by RB into beta into DC. It will apply across DC, that's why beta value should be DC value. Coefficient, constant value. Next topic is emitter bias. Emitter is biasing. This type of circuit is independent of beta. In the previous base bias method, beta is unstable, but here it is independent of beta, making it as stable as a voltage divider type. The drawback is that it requires two power supplies. The main drawback for the emitter biasing is here we need two supplies. In the base bias circuit only we need only single supply, VCC only, but here emitter bias circuit, here we are two supplies are needed. First one is the plus VCC, next one is the V. Emitter terminal also we can apply some additional power. Two key equations for analysis of this type of bias circuits are shown below. With these two currents known, we can apply Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's law to solve for the voltages. First one is the IB is equals to IE by beta. The relationship between the base current and IE is equal to beta into IB. That is a basic formula. Next one is According to KVL, IC value, that is nothing but the IE, the why, because IC and IE are equal, that is equal to minus VE by minus VE minus VB divided by RE plus R beta by beta into DC. Similarly, collector feedback bias. In collector feedback, bias is kept stable with negative feedback. Is kept stable but negative feedback, although it is not as stable as a voltage divider or emitter. Emitter bias, it is not stable, that much stable. It should be stable with the help of negative feedback only. It will be stable, although it is not as stable as voltage divider or emitter. With increase of IC, less voltage is applied to the base. With less IB or IC comes down as well. The two key formulas are shown in the below: IB values and base current value and collector current values. IB is equal to VC minus VBE by RB. IC is equal to VCC minus VB divided by RC plus RB by beta into DC. From the collector circuit, these two formulas are coming from the KCL, and according to Ohm's law, we will get it. The purpose of biasing is to establish a stable operating point Q. The Q point is the best point for the operation of transistor for a given circuit. To establish the Q point for a given collector current, the linear region of the transistor is the region of operation within saturation and cutoff. Stability factor. Operating regions: region of operation, emitter base junction, collector base junction. Cutoff region, reverse biased condition. Emitter base is reversed condition, it will be called as a cutoff. The transistor should be operating cutoff region. Collector base junction is reverse biased condition, it is also called cutoff region condition. Emitter base is forward condition, it will be active. Collector base is reverse function, reverse biased also active condition. Saturation means emitter base junction is forward biased, collector base junction is also forward biased. It is called the transistor it will operate in saturation region. It is the most important topic. Emitter base junction is reverse biased. It will be in, the transistor should be in cutoff region. It will be forward condition, the transistor is in active. It forward biased, it is in saturation also. This is all for emitter base junction conditions. Similarly, collector base junction is reverse biased. At that time, the transistor is cutoff region. Same, the collector base is reverse biased, it is also in active operation transistor. Collector base junction is forward biased, means it is in saturation region. It means the transistor is in saturation region. Here we are observing the output characteristic of the transistor. Output characteristic, how you can say, the VC and ICR is the output current and output voltages. Here we are observing three regions: saturation region, active region and cutoff region. The minimum value of current here we are taken for example 2 milliampere. Below the 2 milliampere current, we can observe the base current is 20 microamperes. In the output current value should be less than the 2 milliamperes. The region should be of the transistor is in cutoff mode. Cutoff mode. Saturation means the voltage value should be, output voltage should be increased, somewhat increased. And at the same time, the current value, collector current value will be 6 or 8, whatever it is. At that time, we will get in a saturation condition. In between, we will get active region. Why? Because 6, 2 to 8, but the more values of the output voltage, we will get the active region. Here we are observing the characteristics of the output characteristics of the transistor. Typical junction values for transistor: VC saturation, VB saturation, VB active, sorry, VC saturation, VB saturation, VB active, VB cut in, VB cut off. At the time the silicon we have to use for the made up of transistor by using the silicon material or germanium material. Suppose we are made up of the transistor with silicon, the voltage drop across it is 0. 0.2 volts. VC is in saturation mode. Suppose VB in saturation mode 0.8 volts, VB in active mode 0.7 volts, VB in cut in mode 0.5 volts, cut off mode 0 volts. Germanium, we see saturation condition. Suppose the material we are using germanium 0.1 volt, VB saturation 0.3 volt, VB in active mode 0.2 volts, VB in cut in mode 0.1 volt, VB in cut off mode minus 0.1 volts. In the saturation region, IC value should be more than the beta into IB. For active region, VC value should be greater than the VC saturation. Common base configuration for NPN transistor. Common base configuration, transistor, most of the NPN, number of electrons more in two regions, NP poles, holes, nothing but P type material in between there. Here the input is applied at the emitter and the output is taken from the collector. Here we are observing the input is from emitter side, output from the collector side. In this arrangement, base is common to the input and output. Here base is common. That's why it is called a common base configuration. This is called common base configuration. Here we are observing the base circuit, biasing circuit. The circuit can be redrawn as shown with input at emitter and the output at the collector. PB is obtained using RB1 and RB2. This is called potential divider arrangement. Why? Because potential means the voltage is divided in between. That's why it is called a potential divider bias. Common emitter configuration. Here input is given from the base side, output from the collector side, emitter is common. This circuit has been reconfigured with input at base and output at the collector. The emitter is common to input and output. This is called common emitter configuration. The circuit diagram here we are observing. V is common from the base and collector. Input is given from the base side, output is taken from the collector side. Reverse saturation current, ICO. When emitter is open, why? Because it is common for both one, that's why it is an open condition. What happened? Reverse saturation. The base and collector act as a reverse biased diode. Since collector base junction is reverse biased, there will not be any IC. However, there will be a current due to the minority charge carriers. This is called reverse saturation current. What are the minority carriers will be there? That will be disappear. That will appear across the collector side. These are called the reverse saturation current ICO. It will be represented as ICO. Reverse collector saturation current ICBO is the leakage current that flows through the collector due to the minority charge carriers in the common base mode. Alpha is the current gain in the common base mode. ICBO is the reverse collector saturation current. Next, reverse collector saturation current ICEO. ICO is the leakage current that flows at the collector due to the minority charge carriers in the common emitter mode. Beta is the current gain in the CE mode. Beta is the current gain in the CE mode, common emitter mode. Here identify finding out the values of the ICO, ICBO. Okay, IC is the collector current that is equal to alpha into IE plus ICBO. ICBO is the reverse collector current, reverse saturation reverse current. That is equal to alpha into IE is equal to IB plus IC. You are substituting here plus ICBO. IC into 1 minus alpha, that is equal to alpha into IB plus ICBO. Why? Because alpha into IC will be take from the left side, we will get common from the IC, that's why 1 minus alpha. Okay, IC is equal to alpha into IB by 1 minus alpha plus ICBO by 1 minus alpha. Since that is equal to alpha by 1 minus alpha is equal to beta, 1 minus alpha is equal to 1 plus beta. Here the two values are substituting the above equation. You will get IC is equal to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICBO. That is IC is equal to beta into IB plus ICEO. Why? Because where ICEO is equal to 1 plus beta into ICBO. The final formula is IC is equal to beta into IB plus ICEO. ICEO should be very less, that's why finally we will conclude that IC is equal to beta into IB. Most of the cases this formula we are using. Stability. Next point is temperature and current gain variation may change the Q point. Temperature and current gain vary the Q point value, that is nothing but the stable point. Stability refers to the design that prevents any change in the Q point. Temperature effect. When the temperature increases, it results in the production of more charge carriers. This increases the forward bias of the transistor and IB value increases. Temperature effect. When the temperature increases, it results in the production of more charge carriers. This increases the minority charge carrier and hence the leakage current as ICEO is equal to 1 plus beta into ICBO. ICBO doubles for every 10 degrees. For temperature increases the circuit, for every 10 degrees the ICBO value should be doubled, as IC is equal to beta into IB plus ICBO. The increase in the temperature increases the current, collector current, output current also increases. Temperature effect will be there. This in turn increases the power dissipation and again more heat is produced. It will repetitively production, the heat will be produced, again it will be doubles the current, reverse saturation current will be doubled, then output current also again, that it is a repetitively increases, the temperature effect will be most dangerous. Thermal runaway. This increases the power dissipation. This results in more heat. Again the charge carriers increases. The whole process repeats. Ultimately, IC may become too large and burns the transistor. This effect is called thermal runaway. If the cycle is repeated, the IC current value, the collector current, output current value will be increased. While the temperature increases, the ICBO value will be doubles for every 10 degrees temperature. It is repetitively the process is continuous. At a certain time, IC will become more large. At that time, the transistor will be burned out. That is called, the effect is called thermal run away. Change in VB, base emitter voltage changes. What happens? VB changes at the rate 20 millivolt per degree Celsius. IB depends on the VB, IC depends on the IB. These are interrelated. VB changes, base emitter voltage, nothing but the input voltage changes, the base current value changes. Why? Because IB depends on the VB. At the same time, IB changes, it will affect on the output current. IC depends on the IB. Why? Because hence IC changes with temperature. This shifts the operating point. Change in beta. Beta means current gain. The current gain beta also depends on the temperature. As IC is equal to beta into IB. IC varies with temperature. This shifts the Q point. Thermal stability should ensure that in spite of temperature change, the selected VCE, IC and power maximum do not change. Do not change. Techniques. Stabilization technique. Reverse biasing circuits. Change IB suitably and keep IC as constant. Next, compensation technique. Next one is the temperature sensitive devices such as diodes, thermistors and transistors are used to provide suitable compensation and retain the operating point without shifting. Without shifting. Stability factor. It indicates the degree of change in the operating point due to variation in temperature. Due to variation in temperature. There are three stability factors corresponding to the three variables ICO, VB and beta. Stability factor S is equal to dou IC by dou ICO, VB and beta are the constants. The stability factor should be as minimum as possible. S dash is equal to dou IC by dou VB, ICO, comma beta constant. S double dash is equal to dou IC by dou beta, ICO comma VB are the constant. The three stability factors are there for the transistor. Stability factor S. The basic formula IC is equal to beta into IB plus ICEO. ICEO means 1 plus beta into ICBO. That is called beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICBO. That is dou IC is equal to beta into, we are differentiating on both sides. Dou into IB plus 1 plus beta into dou IC into BO. ICBO. Dou ICBO. That is, with respect to IC, we are integrating, it means dou IC by dou IC means that value should be equals to 1. That is equal to beta into dou IB by dou IC plus 1 plus beta into dou ICBO by dou IC. That is 1 minus beta into dou IB by dou IC is equal to 1 plus beta into dou ICBO by dou IC. Dou ICBO by dou IC is equal to 1 minus beta into dou IB by dou IC by 1 plus beta. Stability factor, here we are representing three stability factors. S is equal to dou IC by dou ICBO. Dou IC by dou ICBO is equal to stability factor. That's why we are substituting here S is equal to 1 plus dou IC by dou ICBO. But in the in the previous equation, dou ICBO by dou IC means the reciprocal, that one. That's why 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta into dou IB by dou IC. Thank you very much.